like to first thank the organisers, the government of Tunisia, and the co-organisers, ADB, ADA, Organisation International La Francophonie, and UNESCO, because they've done a wonderful job of bringing the audience together. Many countries across Africa, but many international people as well. And some of the co-sponsors, our industry partners and friends, have done a tremendous job there as well. Now, I had a chance to speak with many of you yesterday, and I went into a fair amount of detail on programs in countries. But I want to just recap a few key points, because I think they're relevant to set the tone for the next 2 days. Intel is a big chip and enabling company, and we typically work across horizontal market models. Education is the only area where we have a vertical market and a name and invest. So it's really the biggest focus area we end up investing in. And it spans across both the philanthropy and the corporate affairs side and the product and enabling side. And over the last 10 years, we've spent about $1 billion on the philanthropy side of this, which is the teacher training, which is the 7 million students that every year that go into the science and engineering contests in your countries. There's equal numbers of boys and girls that do that. It's fairly equal mix there. And there's been about 12 million teachers been through Intel Teach that have been able to learn to use ICT in the classroom for the future of education. Those programs are in 100 countries. That means there's a few countries not in. Some of them are in this room, and we'll talk about that. In Africa, we're actually in 24 countries where we have education programs that we can point to say these are fairly deep programs that are making a difference to entrepreneurs, lifelong learning, universities, teachers, and biggest focus on school children. Making a difference in about 24 countries. That means there's a few countries we're not in Africa, and encourage you to work with us and approach us and talk about those. We've actually trained 1.3 million teachers through Intel Teach in those 24 countries in Africa. And there's capacity to take that to other countries by cooperating with many of the people in the room here. Now, the way we work in this vertical is we focus on 4 different areas where we enable. Number 1 is the platforms, the computers, the tablets, that's our business. What we do in education is take these and make them ruggedized and targeted for the youth. These will pass drop tests, they'll pass liquid tests, they'll pass many different types of capabilities there that make them much more rugged. You'll see many of them in the showcase outside of this room. And I'd encourage you all to look at that showcase and many of the industry partner showcases out there, Microsoft, GPIK, but you'll see some tremendous stuff out there. And that's where the technology is on show. So that's the platforms. Now, I spend as much of my time on education with the ICT and telecom ministries as I do with the education side for 2 very important reasons. One of which is they own the ICT architecture, they deploy that, they connect the schools, connect the areas, and increasingly I'm seeing funding often comes from there in terms of license fees or universal service fund that jumps in and catalyzes some of the programs to much bigger programs. And there's some examples here in Africa. We held our latest Universal Service Fund event in Zanzibar this summer, attended by about 25 countries, and about half of them were using that telecom boost to drive education. So a tremendous partnership between ministers of ICT and ministers of education. And I spend about 50-50 of my time there, even though my job is really education, keep that balance. In terms of training, I spoke about the 12 million teachers in close to 100 countries that have been through Intel Teach, so they can use a computer in the classroom and write a lesson plan and enable that and create the content. And as well as that, there's programs about entrepreneurs training, creating jobs, the focus of many of you. There's programs on digital literacy, PC basics, many different areas where people that have not seen technology or used it can actually apply it in many different ways. We have a tremendous number of these programs, and a lot of our industry partners here have very comparable programs and very complementary programs. Microsoft in particular we work incredibly closely with. If you look at the content has been mentioned twice this morning already. It's a big area. We spend our focus on enabling content, enabling international companies and local companies, particularly to drive content for the curricula, content that would be used informally, content in maths and sciences and languages, and work with the big publishers. We acquired a tool company just about 3 weeks ago called Kano, about 85 engineers there. And their job is, their tools are, they help you take a book and PDF it very quickly, but the most important part is the way hyperlinks to videos and references on the web, and it summarizes them, categorizes them, and makes them very interactive. And there's about 80 assessment tools there for teachers of schools that can go along with it. And the idea there is to use that to enable the content industry just a little bit faster, and people in your own country and the multinationals, so they can drive the content capabilities and bring that electronic interactive content to the education marketplace just a little bit faster.